Most seniors think inflammation is something you feel. A sore knee in the morning, a stiff back when you stand up, a dull ache in your hands that wasn't there 10 years ago. So you wait until you feel it to do something about it. That's the mistake. The most dangerous inflammation in your body right now is completely silent. You can't feel it. It's happening at a level far below any symptom, inside your cells, inside your DNA. And if it goes unchecked long enough, it doesn't just make you feel older, it rewrites your genetic code. Here's what most people over 60 are never told. Chronic low-grade inflammation doesn't just damage tissue, it directly breaks DNA strands. It overwhelms the enzymes your body uses to repair those breaks. And it creates the exact environment where damaged cells stop being eliminated and start being protected. It's the silent force behind heart disease, behind memory decline, behind the fatigue that seems to come out of nowhere after 60. But here's the part that should make you sit up, because this is the part that changes everything. There is one food sitting in almost every senior's kitchen right now that can stop this process cold. You've cooked with it your whole life. You've probably pushed it to the edge of your cutting board 100 times. And almost nobody, and I mean almost nobody, is using it correctly. The way most people prepare it destroys the medicine before it ever reaches the body. I'm Dr. Sarah Ellison, and I've spent over a decade as a practicing cardiologist helping seniors just like you protect their hearts, sharpen their minds, and take back control of their health. Today, I'm going to reveal the one food that can shut down the silent inflammation damaging your DNA right now, activate your body's own DNA repair system, and protect your heart at the same time. And I'll show you the single preparation mistake that destroys every bit of its power in seconds. If this is the kind of research-backed information you want more of, hit the subscribe button. I put out new videos every week specifically for seniors who are done being told to just manage their conditions and want to actually understand what's happening inside their body. Now, let me show you what's really going on inside you, because this is where it gets serious. Your DNA is the instruction manual your body reads every single day. Every cell in your heart, your brain, your arteries, each one opens that manual thousands of times a day to know what to do and how to repair itself. And every single day, pages in that manual get torn. That's not a disease. That's just being alive. Every time a cell divides, every time you breathe in pollution, every time sunlight hits your skin, every time your own metabolism does its normal work, your DNA takes hits. Under normal conditions, your body handles it beautifully. You have repair power. Enzymes, proteins called OGG1 and PARP1, and their entire job is to scan your genetic code, find the damage, and fix it before anything goes wrong. Think of them as a night shift maintenance crew. Every night while you sleep, they're walking through every cell in your body, patching holes, fixing breaks, keeping your genetic instructions clean. Now here's where chronic inflammation changes the story. When inflammation is chronically elevated, even at levels so low you feel absolutely nothing, it floods your cells with something called reactive oxygen species. These are unstable molecules that tear through your DNA like sparks landing on dry paper. The damage starts piling up faster than your repair crew can handle. The maintenance workers get overwhelmed. They can't keep up, and the errors they miss become mutations. Mutations left uncorrected long enough become the foundation of serious disease. And after 60, you face a double blow. Your repair crew naturally slows down with age. And chronic inflammation speeds the damage up. Slower repair, faster damage. That's the equation behind cellular aging. This is also, and this is the part most seniors are never told, why modern cardiologists now point to inflammation, not cholesterol alone, as the real driver behind heart attacks. Inflamed arteries are cracked arteries. Cracked arteries are where plaque builds. This is the same process. Inflammation, DNA damage, and heart disease are not three separate problems. They are the same problem running on a loop. So the real question isn't just, how do I lower inflammation? The real question is, how do I lower inflammation and give my DNA repair crew the tools they need to keep up at the same time? That is exactly what the food I'm about to show you does. The food is garlic. And before you think, I already know about garlic, you don't. Not the way modern research actually describes it. Because the garlic most people eat does almost nothing. They toss a whole clove into a pan of hot oil, cook it until it's golden, and feel good about themselves. I understand. I used to prepare it the same way for years. But from a biological standpoint, that garlic is barely more than flavoring. The garlic used correctly, however, is a completely different biological event. Garlic contains a family of organosulfur compounds, and when these compounds are activated properly inside your body, they do something that has now been measured in controlled clinical trials. They directly shut down the molecular pathway driving chronic inflammation, and at the same time, they switch on the genetic program your cells use to repair damaged DNA. This isn't folk medicine. This isn't your grandmother's old remedy. This has been measured at the cellular level in peer-reviewed research using the same laboratory methods used to evaluate pharmaceutical drugs. Let me walk you through exactly how it works, because once you understand the three mechanisms, you'll see why the preparation matters so much. The first mechanism is the most important one, and it starts the moment you crush the clove. When you crush or chop a garlic clove, an enzyme inside it called alliinase is released. In about 10 minutes, that enzyme converts a compound called Allicin into something called Allicin, the active molecule responsible for garlic's sharp smell and most of its biological power. Allicin does one thing that separates it from almost every other food compound I know of. It blocks something called NF-κB. Now, you don't need to remember those letters, just remember this. NF-κB is the master switch for inflammation in your body. When it's chronically activated, which it is in most adults over the age of 60, it keeps your immune system running hot. It produces a constant stream of pro-inflammatory signals, and it creates the exact internal environment where DNA damage accelerates and repair slows down. Ellison walks right up to that switch and turns it off. Not permanently, not violently, but consistently, meal after meal, day after day. And that consistency is where the real healing happens. You're not taking a pill that forces your body to do something. You're giving your cells a signal they were already waiting for. The second mechanism goes one layer deeper, directly into your DNA repair system itself. Garlic also contains a compound called S-allyl, particularly concentrated in aged garlic. This compound activates something called the NRF2 pathway. Think of NRF2 as the foreman of your DNA repair crew. When NRF2 is switched on, it tells your body to raise its antioxidant defenses and crank up production of the exact enzymes that catch and correct DNA strand breaks before they compound into something worse. This is the direct link between eating garlic and protecting your genetic material. It isn't garlic making you feel better, it's garlic literally telling your genome to defend itself more aggressively. For a senior whose repair crew is naturally slowing down with age, this is one of the most important nutritional signals you can give your body. The third mechanism is the one that matters most for your heart, and this is where my work as a cardiologist comes in. Garlic contains another organosulfur compound called diallyl sulfide, which directly reduces the output of IL-6 and TNF-alpha. Those are the two most tracked inflammation markers in all of modern medicine, and in cardiology, they are the ones we watch the closest. Chronically elevated IL-6 and TNF-alpha are linked to accelerated cellular aging, a weakened immune system, stiffening arteries, and, this is critical, impaired DNA repair. When these two signals stay high year after year, the body can't keep up. The heart suffers first. The brain suffers next, then everything else. By lowering these two signals, garlic removes one of the biggest reasons your repair crew falls behind in the first place. That's why this single food does what almost no other food can. It protects your DNA and your heart through the exact same mechanism. And this isn't one isolated study. The evidence has been replicated across multiple institutions and populations. Researchers at the University of Ankara measured inflammatory markers in 50 adults with elevated CRP, C-reactive protein, the standard clinical marker cardiologists use to measure systemic inflammation. After 12 weeks of daily raw garlic consumption, CRP levels dropped by an average of 31%. That's a reduction comparable to low-dose anti-inflammatory medication with no side effects and no prescription. A separate study published by researchers at the National Cancer Institute used a technique called the COMET assay, which directly measures the integrity of individual DNA strands. Participants who consumed garlic regularly showed significantly fewer DNA breaks per cell compared to those who didn't. The difference was visible after just 4 weeks. And researchers at Penn State, studying aged garlic extract specifically, measured the effect on NRF2 activation in human subjects. They found that consistent intake, equivalent to about 2 to 3 cloves, of fresh garlic a day produced measurable activation of OGG1, that primary DNA repair enzyme, within 6 weeks. Multiple institutions, multiple populations, the same result. Garlic, prepared correctly, is one of the most studied anti-inflammatory foods on Earth. And that phrase, prepared correctly, is where almost everyone gets it wrong. Here is the mistake that destroys almost all of garlic's benefits. And I'll tell you now, until I understood the research, I made this mistake too. The most common preparation is to chop a clove of garlic and throw it straight into a hot pan. Every recipe tells you to do it that way, and from a flavor standpoint, it works fine. From a biological standpoint, you've just destroyed the primary active compound before it even had a chance to form. Remember what I told you earlier? Allicin doesn't exist in a whole clove. It's created by the enzyme allinase after the garlic is crushed. And that enzyme needs roughly 10 minutes to fully do its work. High heat denatures that enzyme almost instantly. If allinase dies before allicin forms, the reaction never happens. You get the flavor. You get none of the medicine. This is the single most important preparation rule, and almost nobody knows it. Crush your garlic, wait 10 minutes, then cook it. Or, even better, add it raw at the very end of cooking, off the heat, where the exposure is gentle. Those 10 minutes are the difference between garlic as a condiment and garlic as a genuine therapeutic food. It is the single change that separates people who get the benefit from people who have been eating garlic their whole lives and getting almost nothing from it. Now, I understand that raw garlic can be hard on an older stomach. Many of my patients over 65 can't tolerate it well. If that's you, the research supports a specific alternative: aged garlic extract, standardized to S-allyl cysteine content. This is the only supplement form consistently shown in studies to preserve the DNA repair activating compounds. Regular garlic powder from the spice aisle does not work the same way. It's missing the active molecules the research relies on. So here's exactly what the research supports. I want you to write this down or come back to it, because if you do this consistently, you are giving your body one of the most powerful nutritional signals it can receive: 2 to 3 raw cloves per day. 1 clove is not enough to produce the measurable effect. 4 or more doesn't add significant benefit and usually causes digestive discomfort. Always crush or chop, never whole. A whole clove passes through your digestive tract, producing almost no allicin. Wait 10 minutes after crushing. This is non-negotiable. Those 10 minutes are where the medicine is made. Pair it with healthy fat, olive oil, avocado, even a few nuts. The active compounds in garlic are fat-soluble, which means they absorb dramatically. Better when fat is present in the meal. Take it with your largest meal of the day, usually lunch for most seniors, because digestion is stronger earlier in the day. And one important safety note, because this is where being smart matters. If you're on blood thinners like warfarin, or if you take blood pressure medication, talk to your doctor before starting a daily garlic protocol. Garlic has natural blood thinning properties. That's not a reason to avoid it. It's a reason to bring it up at your next appointment so you can adjust and do this safely. Inflammation doesn't announce itself. It runs quietly, steadily, at a level you can't feel, damaging DNA, overwhelming repair systems, and slowly tipping the biological odds in the wrong direction. And most people spend years managing symptoms while the real process continues underneath, untouched. But your body has not given up on you. The repair enzymes are still there. The defense pathways are still there. The DNA protection systems you were born with are still working, still scanning, still fixing, still defending you every night while you sleep. They don't need a pharmaceutical trigger. They don't need an expensive supplement. They need the right nutritional signal. 2 crushed cloves, 10 minutes, every day. That's it. That's the practice. Remarkably simple for what it does inside you at the cellular level. And if this video helped you understand something about your health that nobody's ever explained to you before, share it with one person who needs to hear it. That's all I ask. Somewhere in your life, there's a friend, a sibling, a spouse who is quietly struggling with the same silent inflammation we just talked about. And this could be the beginning of them feeling better. Subscribe so you don't miss my next video. I am Dr. Sarah Ellison, and I'll see you in the next video.